Well, hello, thanks very much for joining us. Well, we're on part 5, I believe, which is going to be most of the electrics, but we're going to just do a bit of a catch-up. So if this is the first time that you are joining us, you can know a little bit about this van and what we've done. Otherwise, if you look back at the other parts, you'll know the products that we've used, how we've set it, systems up, and the reason why we've purchased the type of products that we've done. Anyway, like I said, it is a 1975 Supreme. And let me get the tape measure out, one sec. That's 6 metres, 800 millimetres, 22.5 foot caravan. Anyway, let's have a look at what I've done on the outside. So above here, I have a LED light, and that'll just come down onto this area here. There's also a good grab handle here, and this has also got a light on it as well. If we move up here a little bit further, you'll notice that there's a toilet hatch here, and behind that hatch is the fridge. Now, it was suggested, and it was a brilliant idea, when the fridge is located in there, if you ever need to work on it or check for something, then you can just simply open the hatch, and that will be able to expose all the working of the fridge itself. Otherwise, if you are off grid, obviously it is solely a 12-volt fridge. If it's a really hot day, you can just simply open the hatch to get a little bit more airflow coming through. As we move further down to the back of the van, you'll see a very wide hatch. It's 1150 thereabouts to hatch there. And as you can see from the photo, this is where the master bed is, and a nice little bench slides out of there. There's enough space there for my wife and daughter to do arts and crafts, or we can sit the TV on there. When the hatch is open, there is going to be a 240 volt and a 12 volt point there, and a TV aerial. There also is a light above that as well. We've got the batteries which come out on the slider, the hot water system, and obviously the toilet cassette is on the other side there as well. And we've placed a light there. As we move down on the driver's side of the van here, nothing's really changed cosmetically. Obviously here we have removed the large lights and we put in the LED lights. Everything is off grid with this caravans. As we move up here, you'll notice that there is a light. And what's going to happen here is a secondary tunnel boot at the back. Now always consider weight. Weight is very important. We've all seen it on YouTube sites where if you put too much weight on the back of the caravan, it'll sway. So just keep that in mind. So let's go inside the van, have a look at the layout, and this will hopefully give you an idea and inspire you on how you may want to do your caravan. Here we are inside the van. So as you can see, it's still a work in progress. However, what we've got here is a single bed and a stack of drawers there. So this is our daughter's bed, obviously. And the drawers work out just perfectly well at the moment. It's got tools in it. So let's get into the electrics. Quite simple. Obviously 240 volt is all done by a qualified electrician, and thank goodness he was able to wire up the air conditioning for us to make it a little bit more pleasant in here. But the 12 volt is something that is a learning experience. So what have we got here are 2 touch panels that I had purchased from King's, and they basically run to a fuse box, which is what you need, and we can control everything off those just by a touch of the button. There are some things that use an independent button, such as these fans, so they will go to constant 12 volt, and then they've got their own switch. If we swing around to where the toilet is, that just uses a normal household switch, which runs off a fuse, and that is connected straight to the fan, because the last thing I want to do is say to my daughter, hey, have you turned the light off, have you turned the fan off? So one switch does both. Anyway, this is what the fan sounds like, the exhaust fan. So it is quite loud. It does work great, but we do have to compromise, and we've purchased some other fans just to see if we can get the noise factor down. And the other switch, the secondary switch here, runs the LED light strip that we've got under the overhead. And if you go back to our other episodes, you can see how I cut that strip out, how we ordered that off eBay, and put a diffuser in there so it doesn't hang just by relying on the double-sided tape. It's also on a dimmer as well, so we can change the dimmer. Most electronics are in the toilet to wherever we want. The camera is now located at the front door as you come in. So we've got a gas hot plate here. We do use it. Our previous caravan did have an oven in it, but we are just going for a cooktop. And the reason why is we still enjoy cooking, on a wet day. That's obviously a great thing to have, and it can also help heat up the caravan on a cold night as well. We've got our sink there, which is just sitting in there basically, and up here in the corner, some people have them, some people don't. We use them. We do a lot of off-grid camping, and that's where our washing machine will be sitting in there. A lot of off-grid camping. This caravan, like I said previously, is 100% off-grid. We can be off-grid until we run out of water. So that will explain a little bit later. So the battery systems that we use are 270 amp King's batteries, the slimline one. That will certainly keep us on grid for ages. We're also running 460 watt solars on the roof. I hooked that up to the charger and then the inverter just to make sure that everything was working. We actually found out that it was charging too much, and the safety switch had to kick in because the batteries were fully charged. The kitchen itself, we're going to keep this in a clear lacquer just to make it nice and pretty. However, the doors will be in the blue. So the wall paneling that you see here, we purchased this off a signwriter at a wholesale company, and this is 4mm composite, and we're using that pretty much in everywhere that can be seen. Behind the kitchen here we have some lightweight material, but unfortunately we didn't want to line the caravan with that. Other people have, and they've found when they've marked it with a bug, or that would have put a dent because the product is so soft. We'll move over to the master bedroom a little bit closer and show you what we've done there. This is the master bed, and the washing machine's just there, which you saw before. This framework here is what we use for the kitchen as well. Going to be the shower. This shower base we bought online. We didn't want a 900 by 900 standard, otherwise the shower would have come out to here and would have just cramped in that space. So we're yet to construct that. Up here on the wall, obviously we're sleeping down this end, we're facing this way, and there's two reasons for that. The first reason is we can watch TV on the wall there, which will be a 12 volt TV and a 240 volt. And because we've got the shower here, it brings a bit of a screen or wall, so if our daughter's sleeping, we're not throwing a huge amount of light down that end of the bed. Double power point there and an aerial. So the aerial lead comes down off the roof into a splitter, and then one goes to my daughter's, one stays here, and the third one runs down under the bed to that tunnel boot, so then we can have the TV out there. The fridge, it is a Bushman's, and we've done a lot of reviews on this, and it is a costly fridge. There is no doubt about it. It is solely a 12 volt fridge for off-grid. Now, I turned it on yesterday. Within an hour, I put in a couple of drinks, as you do. I throw in these zero beers into the freezer there, and that cooled the drinks in about half an hour to 40 minutes, chucked them in the fridge, and then an hour and a half later, they were nice and cold, they were ready to go. So that's the Bushman's fridge. There's a clip that does go on here. We haven't done that. That's one of those last finalising things that we do. It's a good size. It's 190 litres, and like I said at the very start, there is a toilet hatch behind this at the bottom, and that's exactly where the electronics are for the fridge, so we don't have to remove this to work on it once we're on the road. Well, thanks very much for joining us and having a look at our Viscount. It is a lot of fun. It does take a lot of time, and there's a lot of things to consider when doing this, and we recommend that you spend a bit of time Googling and YouTubing and speaking to other Facebook sites like Viscount Australia and Viscount Owners Club and so on and so forth. You can get some good resources and ask questions, you know, where do you get this product from, where do you get that? We do try to source things as much as we can locally. The drawbar will be done here locally, and the suspension will be done here locally. The air conditioning unit, unfortunately, was $700 cheaper to buy it online than what it was to drive 15 minutes down the road and get one. $700 is a lot of money. There's a few more things to go. But anyway, if you have any questions, the best thing would be to go back and have a look at our other videos on how we've done everything, and we'll explain a bit of the products that we've used. The other thing is, previously to having our Viscount, we had another caravan, and on this webpage is Storage Hacks 1 and 2. And although it's not a Viscount, it'll give you an idea on how to possibly store things in a way that's both practical and neat and organised for that sake. So When you're building these things, as a last thing, always remember your weight. Putting too much weight on the back of the caravan will sway. It'll be a disaster. We don't want to see that happen. So when you when you're doing your layout, when you're organising where your water tanks are going to go and where your heaviest items are going to be, try to keep them over the axle or towards the front of the caravan. Very, very important. No one wants to see the disasters that you do see on social media. Anyway, I hope you have a great Easter, and I hope that this has helped you a little bit along the way. There'll be other videos to come, and looking forward to showing those to you. All right, well, we'll see you next time. Uru.